4, 5, 6. Suck my dicksers. Welcome back to This or That, an NBA Experience, a Hoops podcast. We are post game here. The Nets just fell to the 76ers, 119 to 127 in the Barclays Center, last game of the preseason. Brutal optic. Really tough for us. I got some notes from the game that we're going to go over here. First of all, Jacques Vaughn, you call the most ridiculous fucking timeouts, and then the team gets down 12-0, and the cat's got your tongue? That's the time to make the fucking call, pal. We're down 12-0, and they're cutting to you on the bench, and you're just going, looking around like a fucking idiot, dude. That's when you burn the tee. Take a 30. Take a 30. Take a full. I don't give a fuck. Just call something. We need you to do something. We'll get into Ben real quick. I love the ferocity on the N1 that he had in the first quarter. Behind the back pass was elite to Dinwiddie. That play was a lot of momentum. It was a nice bounce pass into the middle, and he dumped it off. He was driving, free throw line extended. He had a nice lob backdoor to Duran in the fourth quarter as well. The place was fucking jumping. I have on here turnaround jumpers. That's new. I don't even remember him doing that in his Philly days. This is now 2 games in a row that he's hit a turnaround jumper. He looks super confident. Great defense. Steals were good. Love to see that out of him. Blocks, the one in transition was elite. He was fired up. It was after a bad turnover, but whatever. We'll let it slide. It's preseason. And I love the intensity of him. Obviously, that's a revenge game. You know, he wants to beat the Sixers. He does this every time we play. He wants to beat the Sixers bad. It's the middle of the third quarter, meaningless possession, and he's slamming the ball on the ground. You could tell he's really into it. What else do I have on here? Clax lobs. He knows where to find Clax. Him and Clax seem to be playing well together. All this stuff was talking about them not being able to play well together. I've seen no issue with it so far. They can switch pick and rolls. They did multiple times today because he's playing 1 and Clax is playing 5. So that's an interesting defensive scheme that I want to look more into on another day. And lastly, I have for him the transition dunk. He got a transition dunk after that behind the back pass. It was a quick turnaround play. Bouncy. If you know ball, you can tell he looks bouncy. Even the way he brings the ball up, just fast and powerful. Like, he looks like he's totally normal. It's so interesting. You're injured. You need surgery. You get surgery, and then you're not injured anymore. Crazy how that fucking works, you haters. Cam, you know I hate to do this to you, brother. Bad turnovers. Making tough shots, sure, but getting bullied on defense. That and 1 in the second quarter was putrid, bro. You're getting bullied. You're supposed to put on all this muscle. Use it, bro. You're wasting your time in the weight room if you're not going to use what you put on. 8 points in the third quarter. It was 2 threes, then a pull-up jumper. The pull-up jumper was tough. You know he's always going to make those tough shots. Duran. I love seeing the block, the 2 blocks. I love seeing him be fired up. He chases boards down. He's like Dennis Rodman, bro. He's not the biggest guy out there, but he just has a good sense of where the ball's going off the rim. That's a talent. That's not a skill. That's a talent. Great rebounder. And rim running. Like I mentioned earlier, the backdoor lob from Simmons was elite. He's running the floor pretty well. He was gassed, though. I have to touch on this. He was fucking gassed in the fourth quarter. They had to pull him out. He was standing there. He was fucking gassed. Clax, real big bright spot on this squad. He looked fucking awesome. He's looked awesome all preseason, but he looked awesome tonight. There was one that he laid up with the right. I would have loved to see him punch, but he still looks great. I have on here great footwork. Footwork was P is what I wrote because he had a nice, I remember it was a nice post spin into a baby hook. Always a lob threat. Consistent lob threat. He just knows where to be on the floor, kind of like I mentioned with Duran with rebounding, but for him with like coming off the weak side when there's a lot of action going on the strong side, he's always looking for that lob. And his weak side defense. Obviously, he's long. He's a great shot blocker. He's a great defender. He's a great on-ball defender, switching onto guards, better than most bigs in the league. But his weak side defense is so strong. Baisley, Royce, and Dorian Finney-Smith can stroke that thing, cuzzo. They can really shoot the ball. Dinwiddie, I'm not going to go on a whole long rant about Dinwiddie. Dinwiddie's a turnover machine. Dinwiddie misses open threes, hits contested threes, and then goes on a rant on Twitter posting memes that he's the 4th highest clutch field goal percentage in the NBA. Dude, take that tweet, print it out on a piece of paper, crumble it up in a ball, and sit on it. That shit gets me so fucking pissed. I had to re-record this video because of how hard I went on Dinwiddie, and I'm not trying to be like that because he's my point guard or my shooting guard. And he does a lot of things well, but man, he gets on my fucking nerves. Decent rotations I have written down. Obviously, Cam was getting bullied. We weren't really bouncing too much zone at them. Like every time we lose to the fucking Sixers, it's so frustrating when we lose to this fucking team. We just can never seem to beat the Sixers, and it gets me so mad. Lastly, Harden and Embiid. Embiid, you're not playing because you're not feeling well. Your tummy hurts, dude. Grow a pair of nuts. If my aunt had balls, she'd be my uncle. If Embiid played a lot of games, he'd be elite. Same shit, different pot. Harden, you can't stay on a team for 15 minutes, bro. Talking about Daryl Morey in the press conference. You know, it's like a relationship, man. Sometimes you get to a certain point and, dude, fuck a cup of coffee, dude. You're not even on the team when the coffee's getting made. You really, that Harden, I could go all day just about Harden. Lastly, I just wanted to talk about overall vibes in the Clays. That place was jumping in the fourth quarter when we were making our comeback. That place was jumping, indisputably jumping. Obviously, no McHale. The rookies didn't get too much burn. They got a little burn towards the end. No Cam Johnson, so not a full gauge game. Ben didn't play a lot. I think he finished with 8, 6, and 9. But he played well. He looks like a completely different player than he looked like last year. Obviously, he missed the last 40 games due to surgery. Defensive emphasis and rebounding emphasis is where we're going to win games. We're going to score points. Like I mentioned, and I'm not even going to get into this, Lonnie Walker. Lonnie Walker's a great scorer to have coming off the bench. He's such him and Dennis Smith Jr. are going to be the underrated pickups for this team of the offseason. 100%. Maybe Harry Giles. But listen, we need to take all these pieces that are doing all these things and put them together. We're so close. Like, this is the most interested I've ever been in the team. I love this team. I love the videos, the TikToks in the locker room of the Drake song. Finish the lyrics. Everybody seems friendly. Dennis Smith is a great energy guy to have around. I feel like he's boosting a lot of morale. Jacques said it himself in the presser. We just need to take all these learning lessons and put it together. And damn, can we fucking beat the Sixers one time. Like, comment, subscribe. This is just my raw post-game reaction. Obviously, as the year gets on, these are going to get a little more dense, and I'm going to come out with a video here shortly. Film breakdown from some stuff this game I want to highlight. These are just going to be my raw reactions. You're going to get one every game. So, again, Nets fall 119 to 127 to the fucking 4-5-6 suck my dicksers.